Hello, Internet! Happy Friday. I hope you are doing well. This is the second of the twice weekly Coy Cubes this week. Earlier, we stuck a little political and didn't have as much pop culture news. And today is quite the opposite. There is a ton of pop culture news to talk about. There is an insane tinfoil hat theory I'm going to break down that basically gets more insane as I play with it. But it starts with Electro being played by Jamie Foxx coming back into the Spider-Man universe and ends with Michael Keaton single-handedly making the Amalgam universe possible. That last bit is never going to happen. The first bit is happening, but I'll take you on the journey. And I do think somewhere along that journey, we're going to have truth and then go into chaos. There is some of this that I think will be happening. We'll talk about that. Kamala Khan has been cast, which is very exciting. We had James Bond just today move its release date from November of 2020 to April of 2021, which means there is not much coming out the rest of the year. We'll talk about that, as well as the insanity that is Tom Holland in the PS5 game. We'll talk about that too. And maybe my favorite story of the week, which is saying a lot because this was quite the stacked week of news. We're getting a The Gentleman TV series. That's right. My favorite film of 2020 is getting a long-form take, and we'll talk about that as well. So let's dive into the news. First up, Jamie Foxx is back as Electro. Now, every time I mention this, for some reason, everyone jumps on me like I wanted this, or I did this, or I'm responsible for casting at Sony/Marvel. I do not wield such power. Know that I did not cast Jamie Foxx the first or this time, but know that I think this could be an incredible opportunity. Now, in a recently deleted Instagram post, Jamie Foxx confirmed he was in fact coming back to take on the role, which is already exciting. Jamie Foxx is an incredible actor. I don't love his Electro in the first one, but that's why this Instagram post is so exciting. In the post, he said, "I'm officially coming back, and this time I won't be blue, but it will be 1000% invigorating," or something like that. Some pun of electricity. Him not being blue is a good sign that it's a different take on Electro. Now, I think this means we get a Max Dillon that is Electro to Tom Holland's Electro, and they play with the concept of the multiverse, which will have been introduced and as soon as WandaVision, but will be majorly introduced in Madness of the Multiverse. I think we're going to get a different Max Dillon altogether via this movie, and that's going to connect into a broader spectrum of things that we're going to get for basically the MCU going forward. Now, I think it's going to be really interesting that they're building a shared universe amongst all sorts of different corners of the Marvel Universe, and Spider-Man would allow them to do a bit of a Spider-Verse take. They could have Tobey Maguire come back. They could have Andrew Garfield come back. I don't know if that Andrew Garfield scene would have the blue Max Dillon tying it all together or not, but that is one opportunity. And if the Instagram post, the second picture, I don't know if that was ever confirmed, is true, it does look like we have a Spider-Verse live action being formed. Now, my crazy tinfoil hat theory is in the DC universe, they are assembling a Batverse of sorts. We've got 3 Batmen filming simultaneously. We got Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. We've got somehow against all odds Batfleck coming back. And we've got Robert Pattinson filming right now himself. So we're going to have 3 Batmans filming simultaneously. Batman, Batsman, we got bats. All of this is happening all at once. Now, that means there will be some sort of Batverse in the Flashpoint movie. And that does make sense. It's Flashpoint, it's combining the universes, all of those things. But it looks like Michael Keaton with his age, might be a mentor of sorts. He might be, giving sage-like wisdom to the other superheroes in that film. So my crazy tinfoil hat theory is, what if on the other side, so that's the DC Michael Keaton incredible reunion. We loved the stunt casting of the Vulture, and then it turned out to be one of the best villains in all of Marvel. The Michael Keaton choice, the way he played the Vulture as an almost Norman Osborn-like figure, the fatherhood stuff, the scene in the car, all of the Vulture stuff, absolutely incredible. But it was great because he was Batman, because he was Birdman, all of those things. But what if that, as we saw at the end of Homecoming, gathering of villains becomes bigger than that? What if he assembles the Sinister Six? That's been rumored for quite some time. And with him assembling the Sinister Six, we could also assemble a multiverse Sinister Six. What if there's a post-credit scene or an in-movie scene in Morbius? What if there, because we know Michael Keaton shows up. What if there's a post-credit scene or in-movie scene in Venom with Michael Keaton gathering these villains? And then what if, because of the events of Spider-Man 3, we get this insane multiverse and Sinister Six, so it takes multiple Spider-Men to take out the Sinister Six? That's where it gets full crazy. I do think Michael Keaton is happening with an assemblage of villains, and I do think this Spider-Man 3 might mean a Spider-Verse situation. But what if those things combined? What if we had a Sinister Six Spider-Verse movie through a gathering of just insane luck of Batman? And then within 5 years, we've got a Bat-verse, a Spider-Verse, and then Michael Keaton, through sheer force of will and nerd-stalgia, gives us the amalgam universe. That'll never happen. It won't, but we can dream. So all thanks to a bit of Electro casting from Jamie Foxx to amalgam, I have hope that somewhere along that trajectory, some of that'll be true. It's a bit crazy, but that is what I hope for. I think as far as a Sinister Six, I think that's happening. I think the script is done, and they probably retooled it for a multiverse approach. There's a great Drew Goddard script floating around at Sony. They wanted to do Sinister Six before Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man 3. Obviously, that didn't work out, but if you remember the Spider-Man 2 credits, they had the Sinister Six logos in the credits, so they already had that script done. They basically had it where Osborn created everything. Everything was in that one basement, which I hate when they do that. So I think the idea of gathering villains throughout the movies with Morbius and Venom and having these villains of the week, plus you've already got Scorpion, you've already got Vulture, you potentially have Prowler, depending if they want to let Donald Glover fully have those climbers, have that situation go on. You've got Shocker, you've got Tinker. You literally have 8 villains now, and that's not counting Mysterio. Mysterio is likely to come back, and that's a huge part of the Sinister Six and a huge villain. So you've got upwards of 9 villains you could have the Sinister Six shape, and that could happen now with Electro. So this is really exciting. I do think we're going to hear more and more about a Sinister Six movie coming, and I think it's going to happen right after Spider-Man 3. So I think Spider-Man 3 is going to be a building of multiverse concepts, and then a post-credit scene that might be Andrew Garfield, might be Tobey Maguire, and then I think a Sinister Six movie is going to be a separate thing. And I think this is really smart on Sony's part, because how do you have an Avengers-level event with your only character? You've only got Spider-Man over at Sony. You want to go bigger and bigger. Into the Spider-Verse, the animated movie, got an Oscar, so I see suits going like, well, that animated film got an Oscar, we should make it live action. We've got Tobey and Andrew available, if they said yes. So all of those things could yield an incredible nerdy experience, and I don't know when that would be, but I do think we're going to hear about it in the next year, a Sinister Six movie. And I'm hopeful. I think Drew Goddard's a brilliant writer, and I think this take on Spider-Man has a lot of potential, especially if Kevin Feige's kind of like curating the direction. I personally don't love the MCU Spider-Man as much as many do. I think he needs an Uncle Ben. I think he's been Iron Spider more than he's been Friendly Neighborhood, and that kind of bothers me. But I think maybe after Spider-Man 3 goes Spider-Verse and then Giant Sinister Six, maybe then we can contain it. But who knows how many movies we get with Tom Holland. But that is my craziness, and that is my hope. Sinister Six and Spider-Verse potentially both coming at us from Sony Marvel, and a nerd can dream. So maybe. Either way, I'd love to see Jamie Foxx redeem himself as Electro, because I think he's an incredible actor, and he can do a lot more with Max Dillon. And he's not blue, so that's already a good start. All right, checking the Streamlabs real quick. Right, we are good in the Streamlabs. Going over here to the insanity of my Keaton dissertation. Also, can you imagine one day getting an amalgam universe? I think that's like 15 years down the line. I think that's when they've exhausted a lot of stories, and DC and Marvel are like, fuck it, everybody wants it, and they do that. But like a Dark Claw, man, that'd be crazy. All right, over to the Tom Holland-centric news beyond just Spider-Man. The PS5 has revealed its remaster, and boy, oh boy, does Spider-Man look just like Tom Holland. Now, a lot of people love the facial mapping of the PS4 version. There's an actor that is beloved in the video game community for his portrayal of Peter Parker, and I personally loved it. I thought the PS4 game was incredible. I thought it was one of the best experiences I've had with the character of Spider-Man. That's saying a lot. I love that character. So to live as Spider-Man, truly embrace that, felt great. I liked that he was a little older, and my friend Yuri got to voice him, which is so rad to hear Yuri being Spider-Man. It's just incredible. Like, that guy is so talented, and then having Spider-Man was just crazy. Good on you, Yuri. And Yuri's going to be back for the PS5 version because the same game just remastered. So they need to make it more, technologically advanced, and while they were remapping it, there was something with the way they mapped the vocals while they were recording it that they needed to change the face, and now it looks a lot like Tom Holland. These are all from the powers that be. I don't know exactly where the truth lies in that, but personally, I would prefer him to look a little older. Personally, I really enjoyed the PS4, but I get it. When you do a remaster, you got to change some things, so that is where it landed. But the internet has been up in arms, and I really, really hope people are as passionate about like the real world stuff that's happening as they are about the imaginary stuff that's happening. I think Yuri even tweeted, I hope people are this passionate about voting as they are about Spider-Man's face, and I agree. I agree, Spider-Man. I really do too. So it has been the controversy of the week, and hopefully all things land. I know I'm excited to pick up the PS4 Miles Morales. I won't be getting a PS5 for probably a year or two, but in the meantime, I'll be very excited to play the new Miles Morales game, thankfully on PS4, because Sony respects the fact that a lot of us are going to want to play it and can't afford a PS5 yet. So I appreciate Sony going that direction. But the remaster is already controversial without it being out yet. Over to the movie world of the MCU, not Sony Marvel, not Sony PlayStation, Marvel proper. Kamala Khan has been cast. We now have a Kamala Khan, and she is a relative, actually not even relative, she is a complete unknown. Kamala Khan is a young Canadian actress that I failed to write her name down because I'm a horrible, horrible person. Please hold just one moment. She is a brand new Canadian actress. She is age appropriate, and she is Iman Vellani. That was only 2 days ago. Oh my God, how was that only 2 days ago? 2 days ago, they cast Kamala Khan, Iman Vellani, and we don't know her work. She is new to the game of acting, so it's really hard to critique or judge. She certainly looks adorable. She certainly looks young and Kamala Khan-esque. A side-by-side of a lot of Kamala Khan art, which I put on my Instagram. She looks like Kamala Khan. I know that Marvel casts very well. I know that the love of Kamala Khan is at an all-time high thanks to the Marvel's Avengers game. I know we're in good hands, but not knowing the actress's work, I just have to blindly trust the casting directors, which I do. So color me excited. I don't have a lot of details to report, except we officially have a Kamala Khan. She's going to embiggen. She's going to be fighting for Jersey City. She's going to have family stuff. I'm sure they're going to focus on family. To me, the character of Miss Marvel is the closest we've got to Silver Age Spider-Man since Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always about power and responsibility, and he's always got too much on his plate, and he's always juggling a lot of things. So I think she's that for this generation. And personally, I don't know a lot about the Muslim religion, and this comic has taught me a lot about a culture, and I love when comics can inform as well as entertain. So I feel like I know a little bit more about Muslim culture thanks to a great comic book character, and I think that's really cool. So she's a really fun character. She's only been around for like 5 or 6 years, so you can pick up all of her comics very easily. If people have asked me where they should start reading, go back to the beginning. It wasn't that long ago. Pick up the issue 1 of Kamala Khan when it all started and read through. Just look up what volume 1, issue 1's cover is, hunt it down, get a trade, get it digitally, read Kamala Khan's whole run. Fantastic character, very consistent. Her Magnificent Miss Marvel run is her current run. You could start at that number 1, but you'd be missing a lot of her backstory that I think will be important. But I love how she treats her family. I love her relationships with people in school, her friends, her little cute flirtations. I love how much she loves her Jersey City. I think she's a fun character. So I'm very excited to see this take on Disney Plus, and I think it deserves a long form. I think it's going to be a solid 8 hours, and I think that's the way it should go. So that is happening, and moving forward, that means only Moon Knight is left to be cast. We have Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk. We've got, obviously, WandaVision we know all about. We know who's in Loki. That means all that's left is Moon Knight for this phase, and Nick Fury was announced for the next phase of TV. So literally just waiting on Moon Knight. Personally, I want Shia LaBeouf. I think he's the right build. I think he's the right ethnicity. I think he's the right intensity. I think he's the right level of crazy. I think he's the right actor for the job. I think Shia LaBeouf is our guy. But I also think 5 people should play Moon Knight, and they shouldn't have that mystery solved until the end of episode 2. But that's another pitch, and that's another long conversation. I think there should be like an OA / very Wachowski situation with the Moon Knight series where there's a lot of personalities. Again, I'll talk about that another time. But Kamala Khan has been cast, which means all that's left is Moon Knight, which means probably the next month we'll have our Moon Knight, which is really exciting because Tatiana Maslany to Kamala Khan was no time at all. So maybe even as soon as 2 weeks we could have a Moon Knight, which is very exciting. I also love that we're finding out through official channels, not via spy photos or conjecture. We're finding out officially, and that's rad. So these people get to be celebratory in public instead of being like, oh no, I'm on set. So yeah, very, very excited. Also in the world of the MCU, Doctor Strange is set to be filming very, very soon. this is exciting because the Madness in the Multiverse is going to change everything. The Madness in the Multiverse really kicks off where I think Spider-Man's going, where I think the X-Men come from, where Fantastic Four might come from, where, frankly, Ant-Man 3 might have Kang launch from. They've certainly messed with time, and now they're going to mess with different dimensions. A lot of craziness is coming, and Doctor Strange, I think, is going to kick off a lot of insanity. So that is around the bend. But yeah, this is going to be really, really exciting, and I'm very excited that they're taking risks with storytelling, taking risks with casting unknowns for a lot of these roles, and then they're also going for talent. Like Tatiana Maslany is not a household name, but she's impossibly talented. This girl is not known at all. She's, I am assuming, very talented. So I'm just generally excited to see where this is all going, and we are kicking into a new wave of these movies. It's going to tie directly into the TV shows and the movies. So with the Madness of the Multiverse, that to me is going to tie directly into WandaVision. So they need to get going on that because WandaVision drops soon. I think we're getting WandaVision by the end of the year. So with WandaVision dropping soon, we need to have things on track for the next movie. So as long as it's safe to film, as long as they've got all the right protocols in order, I'm very excited to hear that Doctor Strange is in fact rolling. And from what I'm hearing, they are gearing up as we speak. Very excited. Speaking of very excited, October 15th is the West Wing reunion episode, and then October 27th? Yes, October 27th is season 5 of This Is Us kicking off. So I was thinking about people filming in quarantine. I've seen a bunch of behind-the-scenes photos of This Is Us, and they're all like in very like wrapped up little isolated chambers to go film. So the protocols are already in place. They're making moves. This Is Us season 5 premieres on the 27th with a 2-hour special. And then October 15th, we are getting a charity stream of a West Wing reunion that means so much to me, and I'm very excited about it. So good stuff coming in television as well. Speaking of which, The Gentleman is coming to television. My favorite movie this year was The Gentleman. I am a huge fan of that movie. I think it was Guy Ritchie showing off his other talents. Everybody thinks of him as a very frenetic director, a lot of edits. This movie is very talky. This movie is a lot of slow burn compared to Guy Ritchie, and it's a great cast, all doing a lot of work that's almost like theater. There's a lot of stage play work here. There's a lot of long monologues and kind of conversations that could be done on stage. And I think it really showed that he's not a one-trick pony. And this movie, to me, was my favorite of his, maybe since Snatch. I'm a big rock and roll fan. I obviously love Lock, Stock. What else came out? Oh, King Arthur. I'm a huge King Arthur fan. Guy Ritchie is one of my favorite directors, period. But something about The Gentleman really sung. I love the world it built. I love the actors cast. I hope the actors come back. With the way TV's going, I could easily see these actors coming back because everyone's going to TV. And I could see McConaughey living on TV. He did True Detective. I could see Charlie Hunnam doing TV. I could see Henry Golding landing on TV. His IMDb is incredible, but I could definitely see him making the time. This whole movie just sang for me. It was funny. It was insane. Colin Farrell is already one of my favorite actors ever. But between this and In Bruges, like, he's in the top 3. The performance he gives in this is so incredible, and I really hope he comes back for the show. Colin Farrell's like the fingers crossed. I don't know how much time that man has, but man, do I want him to make time for Guy Ritchie. And yes, Guy Ritchie is coming back to both write and direct the series. So a written and directed by series from Guy Ritchie, I would already be excited. Add in the fact that it's The Gentleman. We've already got a pilot effectively at the movie. Oh, cannot wait. That is my most exciting bit of news this week. Guy Ritchie doing a show, and it's The Gentleman. So no word yet if the cast is coming back. I've got my fingers crossed, and in honor of that, I'm going to find a bitchin' plaid tracksuit once it's not 104 degrees. It is literally 104 degrees inside my place. I turned off the AC so you guys wouldn't have that sound in the mic, and I am perspiring. But once it's not 104 degrees, I'm going to get myself a plaid tracksuit. I'm going to be a very, very happy boy. That is to come. Yes, time will tell. All right, let me jump into the chat real quick. Ian is surprised The Gentleman is not on a streamer yet. Looking forward to catching it. I think they're trying to make sure they get their VOD money because its run got cut short. So I think it was like a theatrical run that would have gone to Blu-ray and streaming, but instead they had to make it like immediately VOD from theater, and that's probably causing some complications legally and profitability. So people are saying that you should definitely check out the game. After playing Avengers game, people should welcome this casting. I totally agree. I think it's a really good opportunity to ride the wave of excitement with the actor. And yes, don't worry, Yuri is still voice acting the character of Spider-Man. It is happening. Let's see. I did, actually. That's where I got that info about the filming soon. Happened to see the interview with Benedict Cumberbatch saying filming on Doctor Strange 2 will begin end of October or early November. Yes, that is theoretically making moves. So I am very excited. And people just commenting on my insanity of all of this. Yes, I think all of the Spider-Man insanity is coming. We will see what happens. Yeah, no, I'm literally sweaty. I know it's a concept. The great John Schnepp referred to all of us as sweaties, but this summer it's real. Global warming means it's not metaphorical sweaty. I'm fucking sweaty. But here we are. I wanted to give you guys a show, so we're making it happen. Also, my mom's in the chat. Send her some love. She is the best. Let's get over to, speaking of my mom is a manager at AMC, and this affects her directly. James Bond has officially moved from November to April of 2021. Now, this movie was the first movie to move in the coronavirus epidemic madness. In March, they moved it from April because we were like, theaters won't be safe. So it was originally supposed to go on April. They kept shifting it, and now it shifted a full year to April of 2021, damn near its original release date plus a year. That means there is not much between now and December, and I could see things moving out of December as well. I think within the next 2 weeks, we're going to hear Wonder Woman has moved. I think within the next 3 weeks, we'll hear that Dune has moved. I don't know if we're getting December movies. I could see Dune staying, but not Wonder Woman staying. I could see Dune being like Tenet and like fighting the good fight, but Tenet didn't make nearly as much money as it would have and should have, and I'm afraid of that for Dune, especially with how bold and insane that is with the 2-film goal. So time will tell. I know that AMC has a little bit, planned out to survive when they close down again. I do worry that movie theaters as a whole will struggle with nothing to play this year. I know that drive-ins and VOD is doing something to bounce these movies back, but something as big as Wonder Woman or Bond, where it's hundreds of millions of dollars, it's not the way it's going to work. So I think people stay home, watch their streaming content, watch the hundreds of movies you haven't seen yet, do all those things, and then when theaters are safe to open back up, then you've got movies to play. It's going to be a while, and it's not going to be good when there's nothing to play when they open back up. Tenet is the only thing really playing that's new in theaters. That's it. So it's not safe to go, so people aren't going, and then if they do go, they're seeing Tenet and they're not going back. So when theaters can safely open, let's have this stockpile of great movies to watch. Starting with Bond in April? Yeah, April 2nd, 2021, we get James Bond. As Bond moves to April, we moved Fast 9. Fast 9 moved 2 weeks to May. It was going to be late April. It is now mid-May, so Fast 9 is coming at us. It is the last film until they hopefully call the 10th one Fast 10, your seatbelts. That's what I'm hoping. I've wanted that joke to happen since Fast 5, and now we're at Fast 10. It might. Fast 10, your seatbelts? Yeah, I think I thought of that at Fast 5, and I've been shamelessly, I'm going to claim that one. I know other people have said it, but I've been saying it for a long time, so I'm going to claim it, even though if other people said it first. Fast 10 Your Seatbelts coming out 2023, now that has moved to 2021. And yes, I hear they go to space, and yes, I am elated. All right, so those moves mean theaters are effectively not showing new stuff for quite some time. We will see. I'm very excited for Bond. I think it looks brilliant. I can't wait to get to see it safely in a theater. That is going to do it for all of the big breaking news stuff. I actually was able to do this much faster than I thought I was going to. I sped through. No time to release. I've been calling it Plenty of Time to Die. It is a movie that is much delayed, and my dad joke of Fast 10, your seatbelts, is a sign that I'm in my 30s now. Let's see. I'm doing Wesley's show at the next week. Yeah, next week soon. I've got it on the calendar. Very excited to do that. Tracksuit, I don't know, but they're going to be plaid. That's the plan. Plaid tracksuits. It's going to be great. It is cold, Ian. It is 105 where I am. I am jealous of your cold. I hate the cold, but that first nice chilly night is my shit when you've been sweating forever. I'm going to check Streamlabs real quick, and then we are going to go through the comic book pull list. So, in the real world news, a lot of craziness is happening with politics, but in the fun side of politics, Jim Carrey is returning to SNL to be Joe Biden, and they released a teaser of Jim Carrey as Joe Biden, and he looks jarringly like him. Jim Carrey's very good at having a rubber face and a little bit of prosthetics. The man can transform. So Joe Biden is coming at us, I believe, this Saturday. I don't know if that's going to change with the current events, but time will tell. Either way, very excited to see Jim Carrey rock the Joe Biden. All right, and let's see here. Yeah, it sounds like the AMC will be closing in the next few weeks because there is nothing to play, and we will see how that goes. In the world of comic books, let's talk about what I loved this week. So on Tuesday, I gave you guys the comics I was recommending, and on Fridays, I'm going to give you my favorite books I read. I have not finished this week's. It has been a crazy week, so the ones that I know I'd loved were Ascender 13, Falcon and Winter Soldier number 3. That book is so much fun. Fantastic Four number 24, Immortal Hulk Threshing Place, John Constantine Hellblazer number 10, The Resistance number 6, a nice indie book from Straczynski, and the books that I put on my top list, having not read them yet, but I'm going to read them literally tonight. So if you're one of my patrons, I will tell you what I've thought of these books in that thread we've got, as well as I will post my top 9 to Instagram and Twitter as I always do. But my other ones that I assume are going to be at my top, whether it's the creators or the continuation of the story, I've also got Batman the Three Jokers number 2, Department of Truth number 1, Shang-Chi number 1, Strange Academy number 3, and Wonder Woman 763. Those are the ones I assume are also going to make my top 9/10 list. In the world of consuming content, I'm watching The West Wing Season 6, I'm watching Kingdom Season 1, I'm watching Community Season 4, I'm watching a bevy of shows. That's why it's taken me so long to get through any of them. I started Community and West Wing in March at the beginning of the COVID crisis. I don't watch a lot of TV, and I barely binge, so I'm almost done with both West Wing and Community. We're getting there, folks. And then I gave you guys my streaming recommendations on the earlier in the show week. So I think that's going to do it, y'all. If you have any thoughts on my Sinister Six interdimensional theory, put them in the comments. If you have any thoughts on my crazy Spider-Verse theory, put them in the comments. If you have any thoughts on my amalgam universe by way of Batverse Michael Caine and Sinister Six assembling Vulture Michael Caine, put them in the comments. Very excited for the new young actress playing Kamala Khan, and I'm very, very excited that we are getting all sorts of goodness from the MCU now that Doctor Strange will be going back to filming and doing that safely. So I want all of you guys to stay safe out there. Please, please, please quarantine as much as you can. Stay indoors. If you go out, please wear a mask. Stay safe. None of us are immune to this thing, and any of us can get it, even those with healthcare and those without, and those of us that are protected from the Secret Service and those that are just going to the grocery store. So it affects all of us. Please be careful. October 22nd, Wesley and I. Thank you. Dude, time is a flat circle. I know I wrote it down. Yes, that is when that'll be going down. It'll be a lot of fun. And yeah. Okay. Pleasure, guys. I'm going to go turn that AC back on. I'm going to check Streamlabs one last time, make sure I didn't miss anybody. And then I will see you on Tuesday for another episode of Coy Cubed. But between now and Tuesday, I'm going to be watching that new Kaufman movie for AJ Lancaster. I'm thinking of ending things. I'm thinking of ending things for AJ Lancaster. He is of the tater tot tier of my patrons. So he picks something I watch and I review it for him. So that is coming at you this weekend. So some point this weekend, I'm thinking of ending things review. Tuesday, Coy Cubed. Wednesday, Coy Cast. Thursday, probably a Schmodown. Friday, another Coy Cubed, and that is just this week's stuff. Hit me up on Patreon. Hit me up on Instagram, Twitter. I have a lot of love for you folks. I will see you next week. Stay sane. Stay sweaty. In this case, literally, stay safe. See you guys next week.